بس مو په کلاس پرې هو د غوډایل دی خزان له سټاف روم کې کینا چې دا کلاس نه وکړي جوړه
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, in today's lecture we will discuss the sol gel technique for bulk sample fabrication, and along with this we will discuss the drop casting technique for the thick film fabrication. Okay, so what is sol gel technique? Before this method we have discussed the mix oxide technique for the fabrication of the bulk samples. So in this section we will discuss the sol gel technique, which can be used for fabrication of the bulk sample. Also it can be used for the fabrication of the thin or thick films. So sol gel technique is a chemical route for the fabrication of ceramics. It is a chemical route. Before this, we have studied the method, the mixed oxide method or the solid state method. That one is called as the physical method. This method, that is the sol gel method, is much attractive because it involves relatively lower processing temperature. In this method, we use lower processing temperature. So why this is more economical, you can say. Additionally, high purity and homogeneity can be achieved by this method for multi-component system. And homogeneity can also be, purity can also be assured by using this method. Sol gel process essentially consists the mixing of metal alkoxide in a suitable solvent, and dehydration of the solution is performed to obtain the final product. So in this method we have to make some solutions. In the last method, in the solid state method, we just mixed the powder, the ingredients powder, and then we heat up. But in this method we have to form solutions of the ingredient chemicals. So the basic method is involve two process. The first one is called the hydrolysis, and the second one is known as the condensation. There is a schematic diagram: MOR plus H2O, ROMOH plus ROH. So this is the hydrolysis process, in which the metal, M stands for metal, and OR stands for alkyl group, and H2O is water. So when H2O mixed with this compound, this solvent, so what happens? The metal ion is liberated from this alkyl group, and in the next process the water is removed from the solution, and only we are left with the MOM plus alkyl group. Alkyl group means the organic solvent like acetic acid, like CH3COOH, like ethanol, like methanol. These are all are called alkyl groups, because we will dissolve the ingredients in the alkyl or in the organic solvents. So in the next slide we will show an example where you will become more clear about these two processes. So here M represents the metallic species, O is oxygen, and R represents the alkyl group. Reaction number 1 represents the hydrolysis process, and reaction number 2 represents the condensation process. In the condensation process, metal oxygen metal MOM bonds are formed after calcination. The organic group OR is removed, leaving metal oxides. So these are the two processes. In the first reaction, we made some reaction, some solutions, and then in the second process, what we do, we heat up those solutions and we remove the water. So only this complex is remained, and after calcination, the OR group are removed, and only we are left with MOM. MOM is basically the metal oxygen metal that is like barium titanate, like bismuth sodium titanate, etc. So here we have choose an example of the fabrication of bismuth sodium titanate dash barium titanate ceramics by sol gel roots. So this is an example, and I have experimentally performed this several times. We have made some samples. I will show you later what process are involved and what the chemical, the basics equipment, the glasswares are the devices which are used to fabricate samples by this method. I will show you some real images which we have taken. Okay, so what happens like we have to make a bismuth sodium titanate dash barium titanate. So what is this basically? This is a perovskite structure, complex perovskite structure, BNT. It is called BNT and BT. BT is barium titanate. So the ingredients are can be expressed as bismuth. So we need bismuth content, sodium content, titanium content, and barium content. So there are basically we need four ingredients. So what are those? For sodium content, we use sodium acetate, NaCH3COO. For bismuth content, we use bismuth acetate. For barium, we use barium acetate, and for titanium, we use titanium in butoxide. This is titanium in butoxide C16H36O4 titanium. Uh, so these are ingredients, and what we have to, how we will make the solution? We will make the solution in acetic acid, CH3COOH. So this is the solution of acetic acid, the solution of bismuth acetate, sorry, the solution of sodium acetate, the solution of bismuth acetate, the solution of barium acetate, and the solution of titanium in butoxide, and we will make this solution in ethanol. And acetyl acetone are mixed with with this solutions. And what after these four solutions, we combine all these solutions in a single beaker. So mixing all the precursor solutions in a beaker on hot plate. So on hot plate, what is a hot plate? Hot plate is a devices which is used to make to give heat to the solutions, and we give a heat a temperature of about 80 degrees centigrade or 100 degrees centigrade. So around about from 70 to 90 degrees centigrade, we heat the solution. Sometimes the solution can be obtained by on with no heat required, with no temperature required. So this is the process, and we get a solution containing bismuth sodium titanate dash barium titanate. So it is basically a colloidal solution, and all these ions and are present in the solution, but still we haven't obtained the final product. So for the final product, what we will do, heating the solution on hot plate with magnetic stirrer. So this is a device's hot plate with magnetic stirrer, and we heat up it, and we get an amorphous gel containing bismuth sodium titanate barium titanate. This is a gel. Gel mean that it is not yet formed. The powder, the basic composition is not yet formed, but it is a gel. So drying the gel and crushing it into powder with pestle and mortar. So we just make it a fine powder, and after fine powder amorphous dried, get gel are obtained. So after that, what we do, we calcine it in a furnace from 600 degrees centigrade to 800 degrees centigrade. In between this temperature range, the material is formed. So the gel containing the alkyl group, in the gel there is alkyl group, but after calcination, the alkyl group is evaporated and only we are left with, this is MOM. MOM means metal oxide metal. So bismuth, sodium, titanium, all these are metal. Barium are metals, and O is oxygen. So this is oxides. We get oxides material. So this basically bismuth, sodium titanate, barium titanate. This is oxides material. So after that, we are obtained fine powder and pressing into pellet and centering afterward. So after that, we have to shape it in a form of pellets, in a form of rods, what we need. So we make it, and then after centering or after densification, centering is basically the densification process. We have to characterize it by XRD, ACM, DMA, TF analyzer, etc., LCR meter, what we need, we find for that for the sample. So this is the basic procedure which we have followed during the fabrication of this material. So this is a sol gel method. But if we simply fabricate barium titanate, so what we have to do, we have to use barium acetate and titanium in butoxide. So mix barium acetate in the acetic acid and titanium in butoxide in ethanol plus acetyl acetone, and mix these two solution, and we have to pass them from these process, and finally we will get barium titanate. So in fact we have to make a complex composition like bismuth, sodium, and barium on A side and titanium on B side of the perovskite structure. So what we have to make, uh, solution for bismuth, solution for sodium, solution for barium. So if you have to make only barium titanate, so then you will use only two solution, barium acetate solution and titanium in butoxide. Okay. So these are the process. This is the hot plate. You can see, we have placed a beaker with a magnetic stirrer. Magnetic stirrer is basically a bar, a bar magnet, and it rotates, and the rotation can be controlled with with this knob. Similarly, the heat can be controlled with this knob. So this is basically, these pictures are taken from a MRL Material Research Laboratory, and you can see that we have to make all these solution in a fume wood, because these are some smelly smells, bad smells can be obtained by making these solution in that acetic acid. So in order to clean the to keep the laboratory clean and free from bad smells, so we use these fume wood, and also it's good for environmental friendly measurement. So this is a fume wood, and all these reactions are made in the fume mode. So this is the material research laboratory. These are chemical facilities, and you can also use it on payment. So everyone can go there and can make their samples. Okay, so this is, you can see these are the solution. This is the stock solution, and when you make all solution and then mix it, so you just store it in a flask, and then you can use it later for making powders. Okay, so stock the solution, the grass solution here, it is called stock solution, and then keep it in a safe place, and you can make powder from this anytime. So just put some solution in the baker and make it dry, then you will get gel, and after gel you have to dry the gel, and then after calcination you get the final product, and then you can make pellets or rods, anything, and after then you can utilize, you can characterize the samples. Okay, so these are the gel. You can see this is the gel, like solution is heating up. You can see this is heating up on a hot plate. This is the temperature. You can see the temperature is 120 degrees centigrade. So we have given a high temperature here. Okay, this is again already we have done it. It is the furnace used for the calcination purpose, and after calcination we get powders, fine powders, and after remilling the powder, so that the agglomeration may be avoided, And after the remilling of the powder, it is pressed in pellet shape, and we get green pellets. And then we have to again we have to centrate. After densification, we get the final product, and then the final product is calcine is stored. This is basically the centering process. It's stored in envelope, and they are labeled, so may you may not change the composition with each other. Okay, so this is the final characterization, like polishing, cutting, and then we get electroding, and after that we can get to characterize it by XRD. This is SEM, and this is dynamic mechanical analyzer. This is ferroelectric tester, TF analyzer. This is differential scanning calorimetry, DSC, and these are the final product in different shapes, and the color depends basically on the ingredients, on the chemical what you have used there. Okay, so the next topic is the drop casting for thick film fabrication. We will study it more in the next lecture for the synthesis for the production of thin films. So thin film is more thinner than the thick film. So after bulk, you have to make thick films. And in the modern electronic technologies, we use films for lighter and for compatible for smaller, to reduce the sizes of the devices, and to make it lighter, so volume lesser and weight lesser. We make it thick film or thin film. So thick film is basically used in different electronic devices, like for screen printing, for connection, and nowadays you can see for folding computers, foldable computer, we use thick films instead of bulk material. And this setup is basically available here also in the Cordoba University. We have this simple, we have made it here for the PVC based composite material. One of our two MPhil scholars have worked on this. So what is it? Basically, we have to mix the ceramics powder in the uh, polymer. So first of all, the polymer are mixed in a solvent, and like DMF, we have mixed the polymer like PVDF or PVC, polyvinyl chloride, and PVDF. These are polymers. They are basically piezoelectric polymers. We will study these material in the next course in detail. So what is it? We have to make some composite films, thick films. So these are the actual pictures what we have done. So you have to mix the polymer in a DMF, and then you can add BNT or barium titanate powder to the solution, and then you have to make a little thicker. So by heating on the hot plate, you can make it thicker, more thicker. Uh, that is gala. You can make it more thicker. So this is another. Basically, this picture is from the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. You can see this is a hot plate, and this is a spin coater. So spin coater is basically used for fabrication of the thick or thin film. So basically a substrate is fitted on the rotating axle. It is fixed, and then what happens? You have to drop the solution on the substrate, and then you rotate it. The rotation can be controlled with these knobs, and then after rotation for a few seconds or for a minute, you can just take out the substrate, and then you have to heat it so that the film may be dried, and then you can characterize that film. So these bottles basically showed the different concentration, different composition. So we have mixed different BNT content to the PVDF matrix. So PVDF is basically polymer and BNT is ceramics. So this is composite material. Heat up, make it thicker, and then we have to cast on a substrate. So in the next slide, I will show how to cast these solution. These are the stock solution and with different composition, and you have to make individually one on different substrate, not on the same substrate. So basically, these are different materials. So you can see these are the substrate. Substrate mean support, and usually we use conducting substrate. Like this is a copper. This is copper sheet, and we have to cut some pieces, and then manually on a glass plate we have to fix it by squash tape the substrate. And then this is basically a die which control the thickness of the film. So you can see this is 15 nanometer, this is 200 nanometer, this is 100 nanometer, this is 150. This is a cross sectional view of this die. So when you cast the uh, solution on this substrate and then you move this die with specific thickness, you can see each side represent different thickness. So if you you drag this die with this end on the substrate, so the final film will be 50 nanometer thick. Similarly, 200 nanometer thick, 100 nanometer thick, 150 nanometer thick. You can see. So when you drag it on the solution is casted, dropped on this substrate, and then you have to heat up. So you can see these are the actual images taken in the Kurtaba University. This is the PVC. This is the PVC base composite thick films. So after dragging this die on these substrate with the solution on the substrate, and then after that you have to dry in a micro on a heat oven. So this is very little, like you can see this is up to 80 degrees centigrade, or you can say 200 or below 200 degrees centigrade you can dry this. So there is no calcination or sintering process in all this thick film process, because already the materials are made. You have to just mix BNT powder, the crystalline powder, already final product, and in the PVDF or PVC matrix, polymer matrix, and you just mix it, and then you just pour cast on this substrate and heat up. So you are left with this. This is the actual image of PVDF base BNT composite. We have published this work last year in 2019. I will show you the paper. Okay. So this is the paper. This one is the data of the PVDF, polyvinylidene fluoride trifluoroethylene. This is a copolymer, like plastic, you can say, polyvinylidene. Vinylidene fluoride is one polymer, and trifluoroethylene is other polymer. So this is basically two polymer. This is called copolymer. And poly mean these are monomer, and when you monomer combine, so it become polymer. And what we have added, we have basically added BNT, BT in this polymer. So this is a paper available. You can see this is published last year in 2019 in Solid State Science, is a very famous elsewhere journal. And this paper is basically published in 2014, 2013 basically. And this is the unification of negative electrocaloric effect in bismuth sodium tetanate barium tetanate solid solution by barium strontium tetanate doping. Okay, so this is basically based on the uh, Sol-Gel method. So you can search this paper also. You can understand how the Sol-Gel method can be utilized to make the BNT, BT, BST. This is basically compound BNT, BT, and BST. Tertiary. It is called tertiary compound or tertiary structure. So all about today's lecture.